Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Aaron. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thought streams, commentaries, tier list rankings, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, to have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And apologies to Aaron, I do thank you for your kindness. This took a bit because this was a tough watch. And not the way that you think, or maybe the way you do think. Because The Long Walk, I really did like this film. I would put this in my top 5 of the year. Well, I don't know when this will be up. Top 5 of 2025. But this was a this was a tough film to watch with the feels. Like, this was like emotionally draining with some of the stuff, man. I was quite impressed with this film, I gotta admit. By the acting in particular. Because The Long Walk, I had heard of this story a long time ago. I never read it because I don't read Stephen King stuff. Because to be honest, I don't like his material in terms of books, novels. I like them more as movies. I prefer The Shining movie over the book. I just prefer the way they're done in the Graveyard Shift, the movie. I much prefer that than the story. Same with The Running Man. The Arnold one. I like that a lot more than the Richard Bachman story. And I think of Stephen King movies, there's a lot of them I do like. Books, I don't give a shit about them. But this story, I always thought, this concept, I'm like, this would be a very interesting concept for a film. Ever since I heard it years and years and years ago, that there's it's not a race, it's I guess you call a marathon where you walk. And the setup is, it's a voluntary, where you get 50 people representing their states, 50 teens, how you want to put it. It's a world where there's been an economic decay. A lot of people are poor. So every year there is a marathon called The Long Walk, where they get 50 people, voluntary. Almost everyone volunteers because they feel it's the best way to get their families out of the poor state of affairs. And before someone goes, no one would ever do this. Are you sure? Have you seen the way people will do the dumbest, most death-defying shit just for a view on fucking TikTok or Instagram? Here you get a ton of money and one wish for pretty much whatever. Pretty much get enough money for the rest of your life and one wish. And pretty much, as you got to keep a certain speed, if you slow down, you get one warning. I think you get up to 3 warnings, and then after the 3rd warning, boom, you're dead. They shoot you. If you go off the path, the road, they shoot you. And I just thought that was such an interesting concept. I'm like, okay, how would you do this? And first or foremost, the acting in this is standout. Cooper Hoffman, David Jonsson, in particular, did a wonderful job. We have Cooper Hoffman as our lead. His mom takes him there. She's scared for her son. She's trying to hold it together. Then she's crying and no, don't, let's go back. No, Mom, I gotta do. No, I'm going to do this. Okay, it's my choice. But you tell how scared she is for her son, and gets on the group of people. They get started. And throughout it, we get to know some of these other kids. So you have David Jonsson, which, yes, that's the guy in Alien Romulus, who my friend Stedman Mark does the impression of. the wooden face. He was the android, and Alien Romulus. He did a fucking 180 on me in this. Because in Alien Romulus, I didn't give a shit about him. I hate that movie. I hated that character. Well, okay. To be fair, I did say he was probably the best character in that movie. So I wouldn't say I hate him. I take a step. But everybody was written like shit in that movie. Ramen is just a horrible fucking film. But so maybe not a total one. But he was really good in this. Because he's kind of the secondary character, the second lead. Where he's much more the upbeat guy, much more of the optimistic guy, trying to get people riled up in a good way, keep people's spirits up. You have this Native American guy who's a bit more gruff and wants to keep to himself. You have this asshole guy who likes to start shit. You have this Asian guy who very foul-mouthed. He's very talkative, chewing his bubble gum. You have this one kid that wants to write a book, which you're thinking, well, why don't you just, I don't know. Well, I guess to be fair, you can't really drive along with them. I mean, it's just, they even say, really? Like, they even kind of make fun for that. You have this other guy who's from a poor family. He's a little bit religious. And man, like, you spend a lot of time with these characters and the endurance and the time they go through and the miles upon miles they walk. And, like, it reminded me a bit of Stand By Me. Like that kind of camaraderie these characters would ultimately have. That when some of them start dying, you really feel for them. At least for me, I really felt when these people died. I felt like shit. And that's the point, though. That's the whole damn point. And you just put yourself in this situation. What would I do in this situation? Like, some guy has a rock in their shoe, and the guy did it out in time. This one kid gets a Charlie horse, and gets a Charlie horse very early on. And they're trying to find their way to deal with that, to figure out how to, well, whether you're going to take care of that Charlie horse or not. But without giving spoilers, I was worried that the director, Francis Lawrence, who did, I think, I Am Legend, I was worried he was going to litter this movie with wall-to-wall CGI. He doesn't. A few of the gunshots are CG, but they go so brief. Like, they go so quick, it doesn't bother me too much. I still don't know why they can't do this stuff practically. But again, to be fair, they go by quick enough that it's not too much of a bother here compared to other movies. But there's a lot of moments where they're out, I forget what state they were in. I think they do mention, but I forget what it was. But you see, like, the open fields, and once in a while there'll be people staring at them. But you just see, like, you hear the quiet, you hear how alone they are. And it's just them together. And then when that warning happens, you're wondering, are they going to make it? Are they not? Are they going to be able to pick up the pace? And you really get a sense of these characters, at least some of them, bonding with each other. Or sharing their stories with each other. Or joking with each other. And man, it really got in the feels, man. It really got me in the feels to how just fucking grim, like, this story is. And I mean, whether the bonding where like one of the kids is playing music and like fuck the long walk or fuck the major, fuck the long walk. And how when certain people go down, how the others react to it, how they react so emotionally, and they're wanting to help and wanting to save them, and then others going, why are you trying to save them? Like, at the end of the day, it's going to be just one guy alone. Well, we can either not be friends along the way or be friends along the way. And at times the music is very good, and sometimes it's more subtle than others, but a lot of times the music is very appropriate. And like I said, it's hard to talk about because it's a simple plot. It's people walking. But they made this a lot more interesting than fucking Lord of the Rings where there's a lot of walking. It just... You really felt a lot of gut... I'll speak for... I felt a lot of gut punches. Because I really grew to like these characters. And I thought it was handled fairly well. There's not many films this year that made me feel that emotional throughout the film. So I gotta give the movie credit for that. I gotta give credit to that. As for some reason someone wants the message as I'm doing it. It's not Stephen King, is it? No, thank God. Because I'm not really a fan of Stephen King as a person, among other stuff, but they did more into spoilers starting now. I will say one of the things I did not like about this is that for good chunks of the film, you have this very gripping, to me, emotional balance between the characters and trying to go on further and further, and some die and some still live longer than others. And then when Mark Hamill comes in, he is so fucking awful in this movie. He is dog shit. Mark Hamill is a shitty actor. He did fine as Luke Skywalker back in the day, but you know what? The more stuff I see him, he is a really shitty fucking actor. He's good as the Joker voice. He does well in Star Wars, the trilogy. But so many things I've seen him in, whether it be Watches 4 Reborn, The Guyver, this movie, he fucking sucks dick. He's a fucking awful actor. The more I see him, the more I go, yeah, he is an awful actor. Take Luke Skywalker, the trilogy out of it. Even the Joker voice. Okay, those two. But the rest of the movies he does, he fucking sucks. And this one, he's trying to talk very gravelly. And he's being very tampy and over the top. There's about work ethic, boys. I'm the major, and I'm going to talk like... He's just so campy and over the top, and this gravel voice. It's like he's trying to do like a louder impression of Harrison Ford. Like sometimes you hear him do impressions of Harrison Ford. So he's talking like... But imagine that louder. I'm like, this is like a very sincerely good, serious drama, horror. And then you have this over-the-top campy shitball. If that was played by James Woods, that would have been perfect. That's who it should have been. An actual actor like James Woods, not Mark fucking Hamill. He's a shitty fucking actor. He gave a shitty fucking performance. I don't give a fuck if he was Luke Skywalker. He's not playing Luke fucking Skywalker. He's playing the Major, and he's such Major fucking dick. He's a piece of shit actor. Fuck Mark Hamill and fuck his performance. He was the worst part of it. He was fucking dog shit in this. Can't be. Awful voice. He's a shitty fucking actor. Again, Star Wars, I don't mind him in those 3 films. Because there's only 3. God damn, he was the worst part of this movie. So there I'm talking this gravelly voice that I made over the top, because I'm the major. I don't know if he's like, he thought he was trying to be John Wayne or getting a louder Harrison Ford. I don't know, but you should have gone someone like James Woods. He would have been wonderful. Hell, even someone, I'm trying to think, like, who else you could, I mean, you could have gotten Peter Weller. Peter Weller would have been a good choice. Peter Weller would have been a great choice. I'm trying to think, like, other, like, Stephen King. Like, you can't tell me there was no other choices to get than Mark Hamill. So he was the worst part of the fucking thing. But yeah, the spoilers going through my notes here for the rest of the movie. There are moments that made me chuckle, like the foul mouth guy getting his gum and putting in his pocket. What were you doing? It's just fucking gum. It's just fucking gum. What's the deal? And you just think of like how you would deal with this, and like the stuff that pops in my head. What if someone gets a Charlie horse? There you go. And this kid's like a lot younger than the others, and he's crying, and you just know what's going to happen, the inevitability of it, and the way the other actors react to it, and then pop, gets killed. The way the characters bond with each other. Even hell, what happens with bathrooms? They do answer that question. Now, did I need to see it? No, but I mean, they do answer the question, so it wasn't overlong, and it was, it was then there long enough to answer the question at least. Because you know what people would fucking ask. Again, the way they talk to each other did remind me of dialogue that we hear in Stand By Me. Which, rest in peace to Rob Reiner, that's a good film. So I thought that was the script was pretty good, dialogue-wise, between the characters, these kids. You have the asshole who's messing with this one kid and gets the kid a few warnings, and then the kid tries to punch him but falls. And then because he falls and he can't get up, boom, he gets killed. And then the asshole kind of stops smiling and he's like, and you see, David Johnson's like, good job, killer. Don't call me that. Okay, I didn't. That was his fucking fault. You saw it. He's talking like to the Native American guy. You saw it. Don't fucking look at me. I'm gonna put your head in the gravel. I think like the pavement. He says like, don't talk to me. I'm gonna put your head in the fucking pavement. Like something like that. And even the asshole, like even him, like as the movie goes on. Like, he's still being a dick. And then as the movie goes on, he's like, oh, can I be in the group? He gets more scared and more scared and more scared. And then there's a point where the lead acts like a decent person, this guy. And this guy kind of almost befuddled by that. And he's like, thanks. And then you tell that he's like more freaking out with guilt. And more freaking out with guilt, and he gets like some kind of thing, and he cuts his fucking throat out of guilt. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I'm like, wow, he actually made me feel for the asshole in the movie. And man, you really feel the bond between the two leads. Like one guy's almost sleeping and the other guy's helping along. Or they have to go uphill where a lot of people get killed because they can't keep that speed uphill. Very intense scene where people just getting popped one by one, and this what the lead's like in his last warning, and the other guy's like, no, come on, okay, keep at it. Like, this is the type of friend you would love to meet and bond with, and this bond really has to work for the third act to work, and I thought it did. And you get to know a little bit what the people want in terms of wish. So like the guy from the even more poor family, he wants to go to the moon. You find out eventually that the lead guy wants to kill the major. Well, he wants a carbine. He's going to use it to shoot the major because his dad was this political guy and he saw the major kill his dad, so he wants revenge. But even like much later, he realizes, man, I shouldn't have done this, and he even runs to his mom, who's nearby at one point, tries to apologize, saying, "I'm sorry, I didn't." Scenes like that, you just feel your heart breaking, and it is the acting involved, where they just, "I'm sorry, mom, I'm sorry," and the mom's like, "No, don't worry about it. Just keep walking, like because if you walk off, you die. Just keep walking, just keep walking." And like, man, you picture yourself in this environment, and you go, oh my God, like that's what it did. It put me in this group of people, and man, what a fucking heartbreaking mind fuck this would be. And granted, it's voluntary, but at the same time, if you're I mean, and maybe I know some people complain about that you don't get enough world building. I get what they mean, but at the same time, I don't want to break from the wall to go to different towns and cities and know about the like to break the momentum of being on the walk. Because here we're with them from the beginning to the end. I actually like that. And then if you try to put in dialogue, it's like, well, how do you put that in dialogue to be natural? Because we already know what's going on in the world, and yet we're going to repeat for the audience. This was going on in the world. Everybody in this group knows about it, but you fucking people don't know about it. So it is, I don't know. It's one of those things that it didn't bother me like it may for other people. And again, when people, you just really feel bad. Like the foul mouthed kid, he gets more and more quiet. He's like, I gotta keep chewing this gum. It's like if I stop chewing this gum, I'm gonna stop walking altogether. And you tell like there's a point where he's just out of it, and the other kids are trying to snap him out of it, and then he just loses it and tries to take a gun, but he gets shot in the gut as a way to tell others don't try to go for our guns. There's the one kid who he can't make it, and the Toolies are helping him, and he's like, no, I'm gonna make it. Here, give this to my grandma, like his rosary and stuff. You have the one guy, the Native American guy, he's fucking loses it and shoots one of the soldiers, gets hit in the gut, and he shoots himself. Like there's one guy that gets his legs run over by a tank. Pretty fucking grisly. I can't, I keep repeating myself, but it just, it was like very simple walk where you see these fields and the desolation, the loneliness where just this group of people are at. But I really felt for the characters. I really believed in the characters. I really felt their predicament. And then when the ending happens, the second lead, David Jonsson, he's like, he tells about his backstory where he went through a lot of trials and tribulations and fights and got fucked up. That's why he's got a scar on his face. And he got a second chance. And he's like, well, you get the idea that he's going to let this guy live. And so when just the two of them, he just stops and is going to let him win. And the lead's like, no, no, come on, because this guy helped him survive. And again, you really have to buy the bond these two have, which I did, which leads to what happens, which is, surprise, heavy spoilers, the lead guy dies. Which I think is different from the book. The book is the lead who lives. His buddy sticks with his idea where he lets himself die, and the lead guy goes on. But the lead guy gives his life for this guy who he feels is better than him, and does it. And you really feel like in the performances, there's the music. And then our second lead, David Jonsson, again, the android guy from Alien Romulus, he's kind of aside from himself. And also, there's a crowd. The whole event has been filmed live the whole time. And he doesn't really know what to do, so he doesn't know what to wish for, so he wishes for a carbine. Now, there are two endings to the film. The theatrical ending is he shoots the major, kills Mark Hamill. He drops the gun, he walks away. And the other ending, he doesn't shoot, he drops the gun, he walks away, and then there's text showing that he gave the money to a lot of the families. Why we didn't see that, I don't know. I think we should have seen that instead of text, but that's the alternate. Now, I know that a lot of people looked at the ending, and again, I know that the majority of people, they take it as when he shoots the major, he gets killed, shot by the soldiers, and when he walks away, that's why all the soldiers are gone, the crowd is gone. I don't look at it that way. Maybe because I'm looking at it more literally, I'm looking at it from a different angle. Maybe since I'm so cynical, I'm looking at. I like my movies ending in a hopeful manner, unless there's something like John Carver's The Thing, which it's a great movie, great ending. But usually I like the more hopeful one. You just say it's ambiguous, but here's why I don't agree with the he got killed vibe that people do. Here's why. Number one, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, because even the makers of the film said you make up your mind. That's number one. Number two, people go, well, all the soldiers in the crowd disappear. Well, before he shoots, it's set up there. You don't see any more crowds down there. You don't see any more soldiers down there. There are only like two trucks following them. One's behind, one's in front. And the one soldier, he got the gun from him, so that guy doesn't have a gun. Also, the crowd was only in that section where the winner was going to be. And again, before he shot, you didn't see anybody in the distance over on that way. That's number one. Also, in the alternate ending, that proves he lived. Well, okay, I'll put it this way. Like, in the alternate ending, it shows text that person gave money to all these people, gave the grandma the rosary. Again, I don't know why it's only text. Why didn't you see the stuff? But anyway. Which means that this guy lived and gave all the money to the survivor's family. In that same bit, when he walks down the road, all the people are gone. So if your reason for saying he's dead is because all the people are gone, and the alternate ending they have on YouTube, all the people are gone now, and then they show text that he did live. So that negates your point of saying, well, he's dead because they're all gone. No, because in the alternate ending where he lived, they're all gone. That proves he lives, I should say. So, no, I don't think that's the way they were going. I think they wanted an artistic shot where he's alone walking down the road because he wanted a nice shot for the ending. I think some people put a little bit more into the symbolism of that than it should. Because I think Francis Lawrence, he did I Am Legend, he's more of a literal guy. If you see I Am Legend, you would not, kind of proves that. Also, throughout the film, they do mention some stuff. Like when the lead's talking about how he wants to shoot the major, David Jonsson goes, well, no, they don't kill you. Let me, let's see, I have it on my notes here. No, if you do that, they don't kill you. No. See, I'll be the winner, and that's uncharted territory. So you don't know that. Like, why would they bring that up in the dialogue? Unless it gives you a reason as to maybe not they'll shoot. Because it's live. It's on live TV. Since they're the winner, and this is the big thing they do every year, yeah, the major died, but do they really want to kill the winner on live TV that who knows will affect many people to wanting to volunteer for this thing the next year or so? Or become a martyr. Or become whatever kind of martyr. How many movies have we seen that, well, we can't kill this guy now because he'll be a martyr? There's all these ideas. Well, that was his wish too. Well, technically he wished for the carbine. He didn't wish to kill the major. So the wish was the carbine. The rest is up to him. So that's the way I look at it. I think he lived. He went down the road. I think the more symbolism, if you want to put that into it, is that this is a guy who, throughout the whole film, he talks about how you need to be the kind of person to see the beauty in this world, to see the sky, to see everything else. He was a guy that did not want to do violence. He was a guy that did not want to hurt or do anything again of that nature. But because of this ordeal, this event, and then seeing the friends, including the lead guy, die in front of him, he's like, I'm going to do this for him. In a way, it's kind of tragic because it kind of means the lead guy died for nothing. Because he's like, you do find the light. You're better than me. He dies. Well, if this guy was just going to do what you're going to do, then, but at the same time he didn't ask for that, and it's human nature, and it's just one of those things where that's the more, to me, that makes it more interesting and tragic. Not him dying. That's why I don't go in that direction. If you want this to be a tragedy, what's more interesting to me is that succumbing to his emotions that he was trying to suppress the whole time, he does kill this guy, and then now as he walks down the road, he's got to live with that, not seeing the light anymore, seeing the world as dark and depressing as it is, and there is no light, there is no rainbows or anything. Honestly, I'd watch this again, and I'd probably just put the text at the end of the end credits, like do a fan cut. That's probably what I would do. I'd keep everything, him shoot the major, goes in, and put the text where he just gave the money. Again, I don't know why they didn't show that. I would rather, that's one thing I would rather have them done. At the end of the film, he walks away, then you see some figure putting a rosary into the mailbox of one, money into others. Kind of like Ben Affleck did in Reindeer Games, put money in the mailboxes. And knocked on the door, and there's the mom, and there's him. And they kind of have this moment, and they shake hands. And then, boom, in movie. I would have preferred that. If you take out Mark Hamill and replace him with someone like James Woods or Peter Weller, and if you had the ending that way, and maybe, you know, doing some of the violence a little bit more practical, a little less CG, this would have been in my top 3 favorites of the year. As of now, it's top 5. So I looked at the ending different than others. Plus, I wanted Mark Hamill's character to die, and I got that, so I was fine with that too. I didn't. So I don't think he died at the end. I know people will disagree. Fine, you can disagree, and I disagree with you. I don't care. That's how I view it. Again, the tragedy is that he ended up doing what the other guy wanted to do, so his sacrifice was kind of useless, but the guy was in his right headspace because of all the shit that happens. So you can understand why he did what he did. You can understand it. Plus, I don't like Mark Hamill, and I hate his character, so I was glad he got killed too. so I didn't. It still keeps that grim ending without, you know, going overboard on it as well. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's funny. Someone just said, "Oh, let me guess, you hated this movie?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." So you're wrong. So if you're watching, you're wrong. Don't assume shit. I really did like this movie. I thought it was pretty good. It was a damn heartbreaker. I'll say that. Maybe I put that in the title, heartbreaking. At the Heartbreak Kid? No, there ain't no Shawn Michaels. But yeah, I really did enjoy this. Aside from Mark Hamill. But yeah, especially for the acting and just the concept. And man, this was a tough watch. That's why it took a while to do the review. Sorry, Aaron, but thank you. If you're watching, hopefully you are. But take care, everyone. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.